Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa here with another Scrapbook Process video, and today I am going to be doing a fall layout using some items from my stash. Most of the papers have come from that pumpkin spice die cuts with a view stack that I believe was their new one for this fall. So I'm just going through and just showing you the different bits and pieces that I pulled from my stash. I have a silhouette cut of some maple leaves. I have some gold foiling that I'm going to do, as well as some little journaling strips and some stickers that I've all pulled all of these different items from my stash. There's nothing new in most of these items. They are all simply pieces that I pulled from my stash. And I am going to pull out a few punches here and some sequins. So I do have a few things that I am going to do and show you before I put the actual layout together. I do create a few things that I'm going to use on the page that I'm going to show you first. But everything on this page is going to be inked with that Vintage Photos Distress ink. And to start off, I did take that background sheet that came from that paper pad, and I'm going to put some Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine on the background just to add a little bit of interest. I do go back later and add some over the top because most of this does get covered up, that you'll see as we go. So the first thing here I do after cleaning up my mat is I'm just going to show you, I am going to take all those pattern papers that I showed you at the beginning, and I'm just going to punch hexagons. I don't do a ton, but a few. And then I am going to take that very old set of Martha Stewart stickers, and they're double-sided stickers. So I put them on white cardstock and then peel the top layer off, and I'm using that deco foil and I'm foiling those leaves, and I love how those turned out. They're one of my favorite things on this page. So after I get those, all the gold foiling done, I did decide that I was going to take my maple leaves and I was going to create some shaker pockets. So I'm just showing you really quickly here just how I'm going to create my shaker pockets. I have a piece of acetate that I am just going to go ahead and I'm just showing you there. I'm going to glue that all down on that piece of acetate, and then I'm going to cut around that piece of acetate, and that is going to be the sort of the cover for my sequins. And then I don't show it on camera, I don't believe, but I am going to back it there, you see, with just some dimensional adhesive. And then once I had all the dimensional adhesive on there, I did go ahead and put some of the sequins in the center of that maple leaf. And I really love how I do two of them for the page, and I love how they turned out. They add a nice interest to the page, and they add sort of just a fun detail. And so here you see I'm just finishing up by putting a backing on it, and I'm not going to make you watch me cut all around that backing because it does take a little bit of time. It's a little tricky, but there you see all my different bits and pieces that I've cut that I am going to use on this page. And because I'm using all of those bits and pieces, those become my main embellishments for the page. And, you know, if you ever have a collection where you don't have sort of any matching ephemera, all of the things that I put together there, apart from just adding the detail with the, you know, the sequins themselves, all of it is paper. And so you can easily make your own embellishments. I do that a lot. I have a lot of collections that I don't have any embellishments for. I just simply have the paper. One of the easiest things you can do is just take some punches or a die cut machine and create your own embellishments. It is something you can customize, and you have something that's unique to your page. So I highly recommend that, you know, even if you just get some simple punches, like even a heart punch or, you know, a circle punch, any of those simple punches, even, you can make your own embellishments. And with some deco foil and some double-sided adhesive, you can even foil your own embellishments like I did with those leaves. So while I was talking, I did take each of those colors, and I have 3 photos going on this page, and I did go ahead and I am just matting each of those photos up I'm using a different piece of the color cardstock for each of my photos. So I have one matted in that burgundy, one in the green, and one in the yellow. And as you saw with my title, which is a hint of fall, these are actually from a tree in my backyard. And because I live here in Florida, we don't actually get fall. So this one tree that I do have in my backyard is a maple leaf tree, and it in the fall sort of every so often remembers that it is fall, and so parts of the tree will in fact change color a little bit. And so I happened to catch one day when I was out in my yard that it had some fall colored leaves, not very many, mind you, but a few, and one had dropped to the ground. And so that's what this picture, or these set of pictures, is from. And it's about as close to a fall sort of color that we get here in Florida, at least where I am. And so I thought it would be fun to document the closest that I get to the fall and all the beautiful colors. So now that I have my photos matted and I've added a piece of paper behind all three photos kind of to pull it all together, I am just going to lay out all of those hexagons. Now, those hexagons are going to go in sort of a diagonal from the top left down to that bottom right that I'm working on now. And on top of that, as you saw a second ago, I am going to put my leaves. And I have a full, sort of brown leaf, and then I have the sequin leaf that are going to be part of each of the clusters. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to lay everything out. You'll see here, I'm just trying to get a random organization of colors. I'm trying to make sure that I don't have two that are the same beside each other. I'm not trying to be super exact and line them up perfectly. I'm just trying to make sure I have a good mixture of the colors. And so you'll see here, I'm just going to lay them all out. I am not going to make you watch me glue all of these down on camera. I'm going to lay out the clusters, at least these main elements of the clusters first. And then there you see I've gone off camera and glued it all down. So you don't have to watch the painful process of gluing all of those hexagons down, because that is no fun. I did, to the ends of the leaves, I did add a little bit of twine and a little bow, which I thought added just a little bit of extra texture to the page. And with those stickers that I pulled, that is what I used to write a hint of. And then what actually sparked my idea to make hexagons or punch hexagons and put them on this page was that fall that was on that Echo Park chipboard sheet. I liked those, the letters on each of those tile hexagons, and so that actually sort of sparked the whole idea of the hexagons on this layout. And I was taking inspiration from the shaker pockets from a past layout that I've done, and one of the things I've enjoyed lately is actually creating shaker pockets, and so that was my other inspiration from a past layout that I created. And I do believe there is a couple of videos on my channel right now that have shaker pockets. And so if you're looking for additional shaker pocket ideas, be sure to check out some of those videos. And so here now you see I've gone ahead and pulled those gold foiled leaves in, and I'm putting them in 3 different areas on each of those clusters. I've pulled some additional leaves from that chipboard sheet, as well as the punched leaves that I also punched from all of that pattern paper. So like I said, if you have a couple of simple punches, you can create your own embellishments. And once you add a little bit of ink around the edges, you really can give them a lot of detail with having it just be a paper embellishment. So in addition to those leaves, I also have that sticker book, which has some circular sayings. So like the first one I tried to use was Hello Fall, but it didn't fit where I wanted it to. But I found another circle that had said love this. So I went ahead and put it in that little sort of little opening between the leaf and the page itself. And so I have a little one there. And then I grabbed a remember from another page on that sticker book and I put that up at the top right above the first photo. And I like adding just those little touches. It's again a different texture because it's sort of a vellum-y sticker. I'm going to pull another leaf from that sticker book. Just little additional pieces that has a little bit of gold foiling. So again, a little bit more interest I'm adding to the page as I go. As I was looking at it, I did think that my title needed to be moved over just a little bit. So I am going to go ahead here and you'll see I'm moving all of my letters over. And once I sort of fiddle around and add a few more leaves, I'm going to glue everything down off camera, and I will have at the end of the video some still photos. You will see I've added my journaling and a date, as well as I did go back and add a couple of the wood buttons that I showed at the beginning that I forgot to do when I was on camera. But apart from that, that is how this layout came together. And so I will leave you with the photos and catch you on the next one. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.